Hey Chris, mate, I'm going to take you through a really nice nerve mobilisation. So essentially we'll be biasing your common peroneal nerve, or what people now term as the common fibular nerve. Basically it's a branch off your sciatic. So if you looked at where your sciatic nerve, or say that common fibular nerve, it sort of comes from your L4, L5, S1, S2 vertebrae. It's part of your sciatic nerve. Your sciatic nerve splits in that sort of last third at the back of the thigh. One portion runs deep as the tibial nerve, and then another portion becomes that common fibular nerve and runs and wraps around the outside of the fibular head. And quite often it gets forgotten when there's people with lower limb issues, low back issues. People kind of forget to actually get in and mobilise. So that can be a branch of nerve that remains kind of stuck or not moving very well, which then will cause other sort of things upstream. So we're going to work through that, but at the same time, you've got to remember that these nerves generate or come from or derived from that lumbar spine. So anything where we're cleaning up lower down through here, you still want to go through and clean up some of those deep glute muscles, piriformis, deep hip rotators, things that can have an impact on how that nerve glides closer to its origins, okay? So just keep that in mind. So to do this properly, mate, we need to work through this quick concept called your torso triangle. What we're going to look at here is if you lay flat on your back, we'll work on the right-hand side. So I want you to float the right knee up, so it's at 90 degrees. You can either interlock your fingers, or tips of your fingers can wrap in behind the hamstring tendons and hold here. So if you look at my knee, torso, and arms, that becomes my torso triangle. My opposite leg is sitting with my foot flat. That's just to help stabilize lumbar spine at the moment. And from here, what we'll do is maintaining that torso triangle. The arms don't move. I can actually try and push the leg away from me, activating the glutes, and the resistance is held there by my fingers through the arms. All right, so basically what I want here is when we go to straighten the leg, the only part of the body that moves at this point will be the knee. You can use your thumbs to pinpoint the joint line if you like, if you want to be really particular, but for the moment, just maintaining that strong torso triangle is really important. So from here, I just want you to straighten the leg as far as it'll go with the toes pointed, and just cycle through that half a dozen times. From there, pull the toes back towards your face, keep them pulled back and try and straighten again. What you'll notice is your leg won't be able to straighten quite so far, and you might even feel a bit of a shaking through the quads and the hamstrings. So cycle through that a bunch of times. From here, I want you to keep the toes relaxed, straighten the leg as far as it'll go, maintaining your torso triangle. Toes are relaxed. Now, maintaining the leg position, pull the toes back towards your face and push through the heel. Point the toes, pull the toes back, push through the heel. Point the toes, pull the toes back, push through the heel. And we cycle through that, and you'll notice a change in the pull and the tension up the back of the leg into the hamstring through the nerve dynamic, essentially. So from here, next one, toes are pointed, and we're going to draw big circles with the toes as big as we can while we're trying to maintain as straight a leg as we possibly can, clockwise and anti-clockwise, essentially. Now from here, you would have done these inversion, eversion exercises previously with the band. What happens often when people turn the foot in or turn the foot out is they'll get a lot of hip rotation and knee movement. So maintaining that torso triangle position, straighten the leg as best you can, toes are pulled back. Now turn the outside of the foot up to the ceiling. So you go through that inversion, eversion position, but again, the only joint now that's moving is that of at the heel, okay? So that subtalar joint. So that's the joint basically that allows for the inversion eversion, which is between your talus and your calcaneus or your heel bone. All right. If you want to increase the bias on that, we can just bring the leg slightly across the body. That will increase the tension in the nerve, or we can create, maintaining the arm position, a little bit of internal rotation of the knee, leg across the body, same thing. So mate, work through that. Through this activity, I've had my left knee bent up, foot relaxed as another, foot on the ground as another stabilizer of my lumbar spine. Ultimately though, I'd like to get you to progressively creep that foot down. So if you can hold this position, toes are back, pushing through the heel, nice and strong, blade the foot so you're working through that inversion, eversion, and then slowly caterpillar the other foot down. That will most likely increase the tension in the nerve on the right-hand side as you lower the other leg down. All right, but we're trying to maintain our lumbar spine posture and our position the whole time. Don't get sloppy. Allow the body to start to move, unlock that sort of restricted power, and allow the muscles to generate power and deliver it in the lines and the lines and planes that you need for running and all your strength stuff as well. All right, cheers, mate. Give me a yell, and I can do some more stuff in the next day or so. But have a crack at that. Get those two things right. Get that sort of nerve mobility activity right. Also go through and work on the that self-assessment of posture and sitting, and then that rotational asymmetry, and see if that exists in your hips. Until then, mate, I'll talk to you in the next couple of days. Cheers.